Is Iman Gadzhi the world's best copywriter? And if he is, are we able to learn from him, learn from his ability to have such great success making so much money online, selling all the various offers he sells? That's exactly what I'm going to try to explain in this video. If you haven't heard of Iman Gadzhi yet, I have to ask you, over the last 2 years, has your phone been disconnected? No access to the internet? Like, seriously, this guy is all over the place online. And over the years, he's built up an insanely strong background in marketing by building up various brands, selling and marketing different courses, subscriptions, email lists. He's really done it all and been able to incorporate copywriting throughout his work in a way that's effective and really gets people to take action. And the reason I chose Iman Gadzhi as an example is because he's had a pretty normal upbringing from what I've been able to see. He's gone on to create and own a very successful digital marketing agency to present time where he's a massive YouTube personality where he's built a lot of fame and notoriety around documenting the process and sharing some of his wisdom that he's gained over the years running many successful businesses. One video in particular that I remember clearly of his, which kind of sparked me to make this video, was one where he talks about the power of copywriting and how he's at a point now where if he wants to sell something, he could write an email or series of emails to his email list and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue overnight. The idea that someone would be able to write an email that generates hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue in days seems like that would qualify that person to be considered an elite copywriter, like the best of the best, right? So because of that, does that make Iman Gadzhi the world's best copywriter? Honestly, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to say no. And just let me explain myself, because the reason I'm saying that might actually help you guys dramatically improve your own ability to sell things on the internet with your own copy. So before I go on, I should clarify that Iman is definitely an expert marketer, an expert copywriter. There's no doubt about that. He and his team of copywriters are able to do things online that not many other people are able to do, things that generate millions of dollars of revenue every year. But I wanted to use the phrase best copywriter in the world as something to draw a line around in the sand for the purposes of helping you guys. Because I think that concept of idolizing someone who's obviously very successful at what he does creates a mindset of self-doubt in the minds of a lot of beginner copywriters and makes the things that Iman is able to do with copy seem out of reach and impossible for everyone else, which it's not. So no, I don't think he's the best copywriter in the world, but he does make millions of dollars a year with his copy. And here's my rationale and my thinking of how he's able to do that. So this is the part you should start taking notes. So unlike many struggling marketers or copywriters, Iman Gadzhi does one thing in particular exceptionally well. He deeply understands his audience, and I mean deeply. Every single piece of content Iman creates is specifically tailored to fit who he knows his audience to be, the things he knows his audience want, and the things his audience needs. And that is a key piece of marketing and copywriting that a lot of people miss or don't do very well. But Iman doesn't really miss on this. Well, I mean, everyone misses sometimes. But if you look at all of his content footprints all over the internet, he really hits the mark with creating content built around what he knows his audience to be and wants most of the time. Like, the content he creates is just focused around one target, and he focuses around that target really well. So let's look at his last few videos. This one's called The System Failed You. It's a video that pokes at a common theme that goes around internet culture these days, really pushing back against the idea of being indoctrinated into the system. Then what do you know? If you look at the description of this video, there's a link to something called The Rescue. which seems to be a mailing list he's building for another content series that's built around helping people break free of this system. So he's building a list that he can then market to with copy in a pretty clever way. So the next video, Iman's $3 million watch collection, fits perfectly well with the last video. People who want to break free from the system probably long for wealth and riches. And what do you know? If we go back to the description, this video also links to another one of his videos that shows how he was able to make money to afford these watches. And it's a video about the best online businesses you can start. And if we look at the next one, it happens to be about how he's buying a jet. Another thing that kind of taps into people who want to break free from the standard system, the 9 to 5, taps into something that they all long for, that freedom. A jet symbolizes freedom. You own your own jet, you're rich, you can go wherever you want, you can party wherever you want, you can do whatever you want. It's that ultimate level of success that his content provides kind of a pathway that people can follow to try to get to. So again, fits in with who he understands his audience to be. And then if we keep going down the list, next couple of videos are about productivity, things you can do to get rich, things like that. It all fits around the one persona that Iman obviously knows his audience is made up of. People who want to make a lot of money, who want to change their lives, who want to have the fancy cars, the fancy toys, wealth and riches, and live a life that not many people can live. And the content rotation goes on and on like that. But how does his content on YouTube make him a great copywriter? And that's a great question. It all goes back to the point I'm trying to prove, that he is always laser focused on who his audience is. And he does such a good job serving who he knows his audience to be content that hits on all of their desires so frequently that when it comes time to make an offer to them, the copy almost doesn't even matter. He knows his audience so well and he nurtures them so thoroughly that when it comes time to write a sales email that sends them to a landing page or a product page or this new course that he wants them to sign up for, they trust him already and they're more likely to interact with the call to action in that copy. And that is why he's such a powerful copywriter. He builds trust and is able to target people in such a way because he focuses on what they want and who they are. And that's the takeaway. He's obviously a master at what he does. And that's the takeaway I wanted to share with you. The takeaway is that everything you write, every offer you're creating, every call to action you're trying to assemble to get someone to do something, you should do it through the lens of having every aspect of every part of that process focused on the client, the audience, the customer. Wash away any other focus that distracts you based on your desires, your need to pump out this project and make money, etc., etc., etc. Learn to know who your audience is and drive every activity that you do as a copywriter to focus on that audience. And that's what we can learn from Iman Gadzhi and his overall content and copywriting strategy. Give the people what they want by knowing who they are and focus on that over and over again, and you're going to get more hits, more wins. Basically, if you can be like Iman, do everything intentionally focused around what your audience wants, who knows, maybe one day you can find a similar level of success.